Hello, everybody. Second time, I would like to say hello. Our today's meeting is about topic how to sell cyber security solutions, and the host of this meeting will be Philip. Philip, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And I think we can start because, as we said, our webinar is recorded, so somebody who has no possibility to see now can see our webinar in the future. So we can go.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I know it's Tuesday. It's basically start of Q3, so everyone's busy. So thank you for taking your time to join us here today. And we'll try to be as brief as possible. It's not a CypherDoc specific topic. It's really broad on how to sell cybersecurity solutions, as the title says. And yeah, if you have any questions in the meantime during the presentation, please type them out. If I won't see them, Przemek will surely respond. So we'll try to make it as interactive as possible in such a format. So the most important thing while selling cybersecurity solutions is to ask a question: what is important for the end user, for your customer? And we did a survey. It was on our clients and our colleagues that we asked. Okay, so what's important? And the answers pretty much were quite similar. Maybe anyone online would want to answer that. What would be important for the end users for cybersecurity? So, of course, important things are the financial liquidity. So, making sure that you can always, send money to the right people, receive money, make levels of sales right. Continuity of operations, ransomware attacks will hinder that, and you will not be able to work as smoothly and as efficiently as you could before the attack. And the image of the company in eyes of customers and partners on the market. And of course, trust of customers, because if you're not protecting your data, how can you protect their data as well? And of course, level of sales. If you're selling anything and you're being attacked by a ransomware and you can manufacture things, or even cannot take orders, that's gonna hinder your level of sales. So those are the answers, most commonly given answers in the survey that we've made. And you need to also make sure that your customer understands what would the result be of loss of the financial liquidity. What would happen if they cannot deliver services or manufacture things they do, so kind of hinder their normal operations, their day-to-day. And that it will basically lose their image and their customer trust. So no one will ever order from them again, and they will not be able to deliver right sales levels, not only in that particular time, a day, month, or a week, but over a longer period of time as well. Simply because if people don't trust you, or companies don't trust you, they will not make business with you. So the thing that we find is that board really rarely understands the tech nuances. So you need to be able to use simple and direct language. Your average CEO does not need to understand what kind of encryption you're using, or what's the numerical reasoning behind it, or they just need to have the answer: are we going to be more secure with your solution than without it? So that's what you need to answer. Dispel the doubts. Talk about the encryption. Is end-to-end encryption enough? A lot of people would say yes. Well, but in honesty, it's not if there's a third party, because you need to know how many ends there are to your end-to-end encryption. And if there's at least one third party, there's many. You need to be able to utilize hyperbole. So there are a couple examples we always use. So car insurance is always a good one because almost everyone in the world will have a car insurance because it's mandatory, but you're not paying for car insurance because something happened, but you're paying for it in case something happens, and it's really similar to the cybersecurity. You don't want to pay for cybersecurity solutions after you're being hacked, but before. So it's kind of an insurance against any possible attacks. Also a good example is self-storage example. So example that we use is if you keep your goods, your furniture, your art in a self-storage, and there's a key in the self-storage unit, who's holding it? If there's more than one person, so if it's not only you who's holding it, someone will have access to this, and you might not even know about it. So basically, not using encryption that utilizes private key and asymmetric encryption is like having an armored doors with the keys under the doormat, or holding keys to your apartment or to your house in a unlocked locker right in front of the doors. So making sure using examples from day to day, it brings it to heart, and it makes it really logical and really easy to understand for everyone involved. And you not need to be technical minded to understand car insurance example or self-storage example as well. So would you scare people or your potential customers with cybersecurity incidents? If you do, most common answers you'll get and what you will hear is, oh, I don't have important data, so no one's going to hack me. Well, that's not really true. Everyone has some kind of data that needs protecting. May it be your invoices, may it be your private data or personal data that you keep on your laptops or your servers, or just a secret sauce, what makes your company unique. And this is really common, and I always laugh when I see it because only international companies are being attacked. There's not anymore, and so there's no such thing as too small to be attacked. You don't need to be massive to get hacked. Not all attacks are directed at a company. They might be just worldwide, and who gets hacked, those people get hacked. So even if it's a one-man band, they can also be hacked. I am secured against all the threats. Are you really? Are you sure that no one's able to hack? Yeah, exactly, Michał. So Michał just says that in those times, ransomware, every company is a valuable target. Exactly, and we'll get to that in just a second. And people will say, I just spent $15,000 for a firewall or different end encryption. Yes, but if you're just using one point of security or one security feed, this can be overlapped. Yes, exactly, Przemek. Big companies you can see in the media, SMB knows, because it's not, you'll not hear, someone lost $10,000 because you'll have someone who lost 10 million, but those people are being attacked as well. And this is, I have been attacked this year and it will not happen again. That's also not true. Almost half of companies that have been hacked will be hacked again on the same year. Very often it's by the same exact attackers, because they just don't fix the holes, and people can get in again. So if you use scare tactics, you can use it, but you have to provide local examples that can be very specific to their industry, their country, their market. You cannot use examples from Poland in India or in Israel, and you cannot use examples from UK in US. It's totally different markets, totally different values. But if you use it very specifically, this will have a great effect, and also provide tangible evidence, so names, numbers. And it's not always about loss of money. Quite often it's a loss of time, because you weren't able to deliver those services, and maybe you can work towards it, and just spend nights delivering those services after the attack, but you lose valuable time that it's a resource. And make sure that they understand, your customers understand how will impact their business according to their income. Just as Michał said, every company is a valuable target, and the financial data is widely available. So if SMB is being attacked, the ransomware will not be hundreds of millions of dollars. It will be $10,000, $50,000, but it will have a same effect on their business as 10 million for Microsoft, for example. It will. The attackers will always make sure to scale their demands to your or Garvin exactly. They will scale their demands to what you can afford, and not go bankrupt, but it will always hurt you. So making sure that, and it also, if you talk about their business, it makes it more personal, which always makes sales way easier. So multiple examples, and I'm going to be showing a few from Poland specifically, because we have such a wide audience from around the world, that it would be hard to be very specific about each and every country. So there was the Polish clinic, Budzik, so kind of a wake-up call, really small company, but still they have been attacked. And it was only 30,000 zlotys, but it was a massive hit for them. Then PKS, which is company producing buses, it has also been attacked. CD Projekt, which is a worldwide known company, they lost the personal data of their employees, and a lot of and their employees didn't take any loans, but they have seen some loans have been taken against their names because of the loss of data. There was cardiological clinics, so hospitals as well. Especially now in pandemic times, cyber criminals knows that there is money in hospitals because they have to be working, so they will just pay to get their data unlocked. And there's governmental organizations that have been hacked, and I'm sure you'll have your own local examples, which is always important to use, as I said. And use multiple different examples, because sometimes it's just about locking the data, sometimes it's about stealing the personal data of employees or medical data, or even being able to steal communication of C-levels about next investments, which makes the market and the share prices can go up or down, so that can be used against the company as well. There's multiple examples, as I said, and we could spend the whole hour just showing different examples. And this is one of our favorite, or my personal favorite, that one of the employees of Polish government, one of the top employees, have been using a personal email address like a Gmail for confidential data. So this is unacceptable, but it has been done. So the process needs to be protected better. So, with the conversation with your end users, you can sum up and just politely ask what will truly happen if you lose. And are you willing to risk it? Your financial liquidity, your continuity of operations, your image, and trust of customers. This is what you need to focus on. What will happen to them? How it will impact their business? Because they're personally connected to the business. Very often, they're emotionally connected to the business, especially in the SMB world. So all those things, even though you're talking about business, they will see it as, oh, the customers will not trust me personally as a person, not the company as itself. And are they willing to risk it? Encryption and cybersecurity, it can be expensive, but it's not as expensive as loss of trust of customers they've been building over the years. And use quantifiable points. $20 billion was paid in ransom in 2021 alone, and we're not even done with the year so far. Just as I said, up to 80% of victims decided to pay up to regain control, and almost half of them were attacked again by the same cyber criminals the same year. So are you willing to risk it? About 50% of SMBs in UK alone are keeping Bitcoins in their portfolio just in case they're being hacked and they have to pay up the ransom. So which is more sensible to do? Keep Bitcoins to pay ransom, or make sure that your data cannot be taken away from you and you cannot be locked out of your own data? And this is something that always makes an impact when we talk to the end users. That cyber criminals basically are the third worldwide economy after US and China, which is just makes like they're not producing anything, right? They just being criminals and attacking you. You can hire ransomware as a service, which a few years ago you wouldn't think about software as a service, and now there's already ransomware as a service. And work from home environment that a lot of companies implemented in one way or another due to the pandemic, and this will we will stay in some kind of work from home. Would it be hybrid? Would it be fully work from home? This is a way for cyber criminals to attack you as well, and that's why the number of ransomware attack grew by 500% since the pandemic started in 2020. And next year we will see increase as well. Unfortunately, this is how they make money. So this is just a new way of cyber criminals of bullying proper businesses. So a bit more about encryption. 31% of companies worldwide requires data to be encrypted while in transfer and rest. So basically, whatever's happening to their data, they need to be encrypted. And this is the same situation as it was with backup a few years back. At one point, no one was doing backup. They were just scripting to get some most important data to a different spot. After Petya and WannaCry, everyone was buying backup solutions, and it was the must-have for everyone. The same thing happens with encryption solutions right now, and we can see it because in 2019, no one was basically using an encryption or talking about must-have as an encryption, but right now it's about 30%. Yeah, exactly, Olga. So the French's proposition for ransomware, that's just ridiculous, right? You wouldn't think that cyber criminals would just say, "Hey, come here, we'll be able to attack whoever you want worldwide, and you will be able to make money. Just invest a little bit," right? It just sounds ridiculous and sounds like we're making fun of it, but this is the harsh reality that you need to make sure you protect it. And encryption is required by a number of things. it is for us, and we always talk about it with Przemek. So according to your point, Pavel, ransomware as a service is well known nowadays. It is for people who are dealing with cybersecurity and are focused on it, but not all your customers and end users will be. So making sure that you tell them that things that are obvious for us or for you are not always obvious for the end users. And I think almost everyone has been a victim of that we believe something is so obvious we don't have to explain it. But then other people on the other side of the table will say, yes, I understand. But they don't really understand. They're just afraid to look less competent and just will agree with you simply to make them look okay. So encryption is required by ISO, by DORA directive, by different regulations about key infrastructure operators, and number of different regulations in each and every country. So that's something you guys are specialists in. What's required in your own region, your own territory. So making sure you understand what's required and telling some people about it. And that's the issue with ISO certifications, that a lot of companies will get ISO 27000 certified, but they can make an exception, and they will make exception on encryption, for example, and they will just not have certification for their encryption. So yes, we are secure, but if someone actually gets into our network, we don't have any ways to protect against data being stolen and made public. So a little bit more about our solution. So what we can guarantee is a protection against corporate espionage, against invoice hacking, prevention against cyber threats, especially the new generation of ransomware. As you are surely aware, nowadays ransomware will not only encrypt your data, but they will also steal your data. So not only you cannot use it, but also it can be made public, which makes just a bigger impact on your business. So you need to make sure that you protect against that. I can see someone writing. Yes, just as Przemek says, some processes can be disabled from the ISO 27000 certification, and it can also be seen. So cyber criminals will know what's not covered by that, and they will utilize it to make sure they can attack you. We also can make sure that you've got your communication safe and private, which will happen and help with your board communication, with your external communication. And for those doing business with European countries and European citizens, GDPR is the bane of our existence, but it needs to be implemented. So we do support GDPR implementations simply because we can protect the data and we can encrypt the personal data that your end users would store. And the right of anonymity for everyone involved in your communication, be it employees, be it employers. This is something that's coming up more and more in conversations that we're having as well. So with CypherDoc, you can securely transfer data of any size, encrypt your cloud storage, your local storage, have your text communicator for desktop and mobile. But you can also, with Cypher Collect, you can do a mass transfers of documents, and you can encrypt those en masse as well. So your invoices, your bank statements, your license code for software, be it games, be it any other software that requires license keys, or even diagnostic results for your cars, for your employees. So these are the things that you want to send en masse. And coming soon, voice and video calls that would be encrypted as well. And it's a end-to-end encryption with no third party. So we don't have access to it at any point. It's asymmetric as well, so it utilizes private key and public key to make sure it's as secure as it can be. And that's something you also need to talk about. Are there any other ways to access your communication or your software? Think about Avast. Everyone was so happy with Avast being for free until it turned out they were actually utilizing your data to make money, basically, instead of you paying for a solution itself. And going back to the bigger picture, not to make it just CypherDoc specific, but we had to sneak some of it in. So the ways to acquire your customers for the cybersecurity is through security audits, the analytics and analysis of their processes and what risk they pose. I will be showing later a Excel spreadsheet that we're using for that specifically. With CypherDoc, you can start with one process that's just crucial for the company. You don't have to buy it for everyone to start with. And importantly, asking the basic questions. What can happen when your data is captured by a wrong party? What will happen if personal data of your employees goes public? What will happen if what makes your company unique, your secret sauce, your Coca-Cola recipe, what if this goes public? What will happen to your business and your livelihood, basically? And how much can you lose? And it's not just money, it's time, it's reputation. So there are things more important than money. And what that mean for you, dear Mr. or Mrs. Customer specifically. Yes, and competitor can know your prices, your offers. That can be devastating for your business as well. So Przemek quite often gives an example of one of the offering that he was privy to, that their competitors provide. It was a contract for 20 million zlotys, if I'm not mistaken, and the competitor provided offers 0.2% lower than the company that Przemek was working at. So that must have been an espionage. It's not possible to provide multiple offers just this tiny little bit smaller than your offers. Let's see. So also how you can acquire a customer is showing a competitive advantage that they will have when using cybersecurity solutions. So making sure they understand that they can show to their customers that they're better because they're safer than their competitors in the markets. Providing licenses not only for their own internal use but also for the external use for key customers. With CypherDoc, you can decrypt files even with a free license that needs to be installed on your computer. But so is Adobe Reader for your PDF files. So, but you can decrypt it and make sure it's safe and secure. Also, good way for acquiring a customer is cooperation with your CISO and the board, because those people will be focused on the bigger picture, not just I need to work here for another month or so, but what will happen in a year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years perspective. And this is quite funny because IT is not always the best partners for conversations, because they will say, hey, we are secure, I know what I'm doing, right? Even though they might not be as secure as they think they are, but their ego gets involved and they will say, no, we don't need anything more. I've got everything I need to make sure this company is safe, just to make them look indispensable as well. And the presentation freezes. It cannot go as smoothly as you would hope, right? So who to work with? Well, that's obvious. Cybersecurity consultants, GDPR lawyers, and any lawyers dealing with local regulations that talk about GDPR or encryption or cybersecurity in general. Your GDPR inspectors and people who implement them, the GDPR rules, those are always good people to talk to. ISO specialists as well. They can advise on, hey, maybe let's not disable encryption or some other processes from our certifications. Data protections officers are also great people to talk to. Your governmental organizations, they have massive amount of personal data, massive amount of confidential and data that just needs to be secured against internal and external threats as well. But again, when you talk to those people, just make sure you use examples that are local. So if it's governmental organizations, use European and use similar regions. So in Europe, use Europe. In Africa, use other African countries or countries they aspire to compete with. And that's also a really good feat to do. So what processes you can secure with CypherDoc? So your external communications with law firms, with tax offices, with your recruitment agencies, with auditors, those are all GDPR and corporate espionage prone areas. The ongoing C-level and board communication. So I talked about it already. That can affect your share prices or investments. If you talk about buying or selling a company that you own as a group, this can have a massive impact on the stock prices. Sharing high value offers. So sending them to your potential customers or potential partners. Important offers as well, and it's not always from the monetary perspective, but also from image perspective, right? And sending invoices to customers. That's invoice hacking in the simplest of forms. We've seen a number of examples where companies were sure they're sending money to the right account because this is what was on the invoice, but it just so happened that cyber criminals just hacked those invoices and they changed only the account number. So you pay the right amount, but to the wrong bank account. And then you're at a loss, and it quite often ends up in court because no one wants to pay twice for the same invoice. With CypherDoc, you can always also protect your R&D data and the communication while in transfer or storage, medical data, license code sharing for your software, your games, and everything else. You can protect against critical data leaks that can harm your reputation, and it can also be directed at your company, but can just be a ransomware attack worldwide that you didn't protect against. You can protect your personal data and make sure that you can safely send big files that are over 20 mega. And if you're sharing any database that contains personal data, even if it's the payroll and you need to go from one payroll system to another, or you keep it just on file on your servers, you have to protect it because this is really crucial, not only because of the GDPR, but also from perspective of image and employer branding. Because if you know as an employee that the personal data have been stolen from a specific company, you might just think twice before accepting their job offer, and you as a company may miss out on a great talents out there. So at this point, I would like to show you one more thing on our what I talked about, and I hope you would see it. So this is a massive spreadsheet that we use for calculating licenses, where we just pinpoint different processes. And I know you cannot see much right now, but let me just zoom in. You should be able to see it better. So we pointed out different processes that are used in different organizations. You can make it more specific to suit your customer base even better. But showing them on paper what kind of processes are at risk may make them think twice before saying, "Hey, we don't need any more cybersecurity solutions." So we've got the communication with external firms, your accounting office, your communication with HR or recruitment agencies, and your auditors are ongoing. So these are the things that we talked about already, but making sure it's on paper and you can send it to your customer. If you guys would like to, we can definitely share that with you. So just please let us know. So, and we use it for CypherDoc, and you can use it for any cybersecurity solution out there, just to make sure you know what processes you can secure and just put it out there. And making sure that you actually put what kind of threat there is, like a GDPR or sensitive information or corporate espionage. It just makes it even more hit the point and hit the nail. Your file transfers, so again, things that we talked about, and you put your monthly subscription cost, because this is going to be a smaller number. Your yearly, and if you want to buy it for 3 years or 10 years upfront, why not? Let's make the invoice bigger. We all would be happy with that, right? And then, of course, this shows you how many processes there are, and the license, the cost, and the discount that you can provide for when buying for multiple years. So let me go back to the presentation. And what I would like to do is I would like you all to invite you all to download CypherDoc for free from our website. And if you contact through or via CypherDoc any of us, so Przemek, Paweł, or myself via CypherDoc, we will be able to provide you with a free license for 3 months. So you can play with it, see what it does, see how it feels, and hopefully use it for longer than 3 months, and being able to promote it to your customers. And if you'd like to become our partner or become our end user, all 3 of those addresses are good to reach out to, and phone numbers. So by all means, please let us know, and we can discuss it on a specific meeting as well. Przemek, would you have anything to add?
I would like to add something about our Excel sheet, because you doesn't show us that there is in columns are some divisions of company, so you can count every process in every division, and at the end we have sum of all people in company which should have license of CypherDoc.
Yes, it would be just over here. You have your different instances when it happens. There you go. And just as you said, parts of the company as well. and you can always add additional ones to specific customer, because we do encourage you guys to make it as specific for the customer as possible.
I think that's all from our side. I have question about your question about CypherDoc and about our process of cybersecurity solutions. So please ask us now or by email or in different way on WhatsApp or other.
So it depends, and the budgets are growing rapidly against their turnover in the pandemic, because there's more things and more endpoints to protect. So depending on how aware companies are, if you see a CTO in a company that you would not normally see a CTO, it can be even higher than 5%. But Przemek, maybe you have different experiences
I
as
have
well.
some information from Polish banks, and there was information about whole IT spendings. It was about 7% of turnover, but cybersecurity is only 20% for IT budget. But I think banking is specific part of economy, but it is different in different countries. I think that in Central and Eastern Europe is the level of spending on cybersecurity is much lower than in other countries, but it took time. Yes.
Yeah, so it will take time for other countries and regions to catch up to that. But yeah, if the 3-4% would be realistic, 7% would be a bit on the high side. I can see someone's typing. Yeah, Olga, the problem with statistics on cybersecurity spending is that companies do not want to say how much they're spending, because they protect it almost as crucially as they protect their secret source data. So if as soon as we get those data, we can definitely send it out to you and other people that are interested in that.
I think with receiving information about spending on cybersecurity is very similar to receiving references from customers. Yes, it's the same, because nobody would like to say which solutions is in their company, because it means that anybody can know how this company can be attacked because of some problems with solutions, for example.
Exactly that.
So I think that's all. We can end our today's meeting. Thank you for attending.
Thank you everyone for attending. We will be sending a recording of the webinar, and again, if you'd like to get the CypherDoc for free for 3 months, please reach out to us through CypherDoc app, and we will be able to provide you the license keys for that.
In CypherDoc application, after installation, please add us. It means Filip, Paweł, or me. Add contact, which is our email address. You can show now.
Yes, add contact here, and you can put the email address that's shown on the screen right now. Any of those three, and then click OK, and we will be able to provide those keys for you.
So I think that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and have a lovely week, and hopefully we'll see you on CypherDoc.
Bye.
Bye-bye.